This is the one I was going to look at.
Does Disney...
So this individual is a trans male to female, and they decided to go to Disney World and take pictures in the women's bathrooms. The problem with that is that Disney World is in Florida.
Bathroom selfies got y'all real upset, huh? Saying, oh, Lily, you can't take selfies in the bathroom. It's not appropriate. There's also talk of me getting sued for my bathroom pictures at Disney. As far as I know, I am not getting sued, and I don't expect to because I didn't do anything wrong.
Actually, you're not getting sued. You are getting investigated by the government.
Investigating this, we do not tolerate men or boys in women's and girls' restrooms.
Hi, my name is Sydney. So today we continue the ongoing saga of Lily Tino. Tino is a trans-identified male who continually upsets people online for a multitude of reasons, including, but not limited to, going into restaurants, harassing waitstaff, getting misgendered.
I think this is the reason why people don't like this person. The reason why is because they go in there and they harass and tone police like low-income service workers. And I feel like that's one of the cardinal sins in terms of like doing content on the internet, is that if you are harassing and being annoying to like service workers, you're just an annoying piece of shit.
And then trying to get free meals from said misgendering. Talking about serious sex reassignment surgeries while children are present, and using food to illustrate these surgeries. Making OF content on Maine, and going into women's bathrooms and making women very uncomfortable.
Trans women are the best at sports. I have been misgendered 3 times in the past 24 hours at restaurants.
Hi friends! Today we're talking about something super cool called pronouns.
I think that they should take anybody who's trying to push any sort of sexual content out of the YouTube kids section. There are certain things that just shouldn't just be on YouTube, and it's kind of like teaching kids multiplication before they learn how to subtract and add numbers together. It's just a complex idea that kids aren't really prepared to take on. And if you indoctrinate them with that idea, they're going to create false conclusions because they don't understand the structure that idea is built off of.
During the visit, Tino made a series of inflammatory rage bait videos, but the two that matter today revolve around Tino using the women's bathroom.
Made it into Disney World. I don't really know what the deal is with bathrooms. I don't know what the rules are. Trans women are allowed to be in women's bathrooms, but I'm about to go and use the bathroom. If I get stopped, I get stopped, I guess, but I'm a woman, so I'm going to use the women's bathroom. I peed standing up, which is something I'm sometimes a little self-conscious about with the sound. I think, oh, is there someone peeing standing up there?
These people set the trans movement back so much. Creeps and weirdos like this have now defined the trans movement, and people are completely tired of it.
Of photos inside women's bathrooms at the amusement park.
This
rating
is crazy.
Each one, I guess, for their trans friendliness.
Well, I've always been compassionate towards trans people, and I'm okay using people's preferred pronouns. But the one thing that I do have a problem with is when people want to invade women's spaces and they want to be treated the same as women, especially in instances like bathrooms are designed for people based off of their biological characteristics. Bathrooms are designed for sexual organs and not for genders. This is just logic. Like, women have a lot of safe spaces. There's women's only gyms, there's women's only clinics, there's women's only shelters. And the reason why is because women are smaller and weaker than men, and men can overpower women, which means that women need to be separated in some cases and protected. That's the reality, because that's biology. That being said, you destroy that reason whenever you allow men to come into those spaces. Women's bathrooms and women's spaces are made to make women feel safe.
Obviously, and unsurprisingly, these actions really bothered a lot of people.
Yeah.
One small TikToker claimed to be present in one of the photographs that Tino posted in the women's bathroom and said that she was looking to take legal action with relation to the matter.
Smart.
Anyway, I'm scrolling and guys, look what I noticed. Boom, there I am. I personally am going to try to seek legal advice about it.
Fun fact, you can't take videos or pictures of people in bathrooms or locker rooms or whatever in the state of Florida. The Attorney General of Florida, in Thompson's podcast on June 23rd, 2025, that an investigation into Lily Tino was in full swing.
Is there anything happening from a state level on this topic?
Yeah, we're investigating this. We do not tolerate men or boys and women's and girls.
If they end up convicting this person and then charging them of a sex crime and putting them in jail, whoever this guy is, this is going to guarantee his political career for the next 30 years.
Here in Florida, we believe there are two sexes, men and women, and we are going to protect our girls at all costs.
There's lots of politicians who go on people's shows and they say things either in the heat of the moment or they exaggerate in some way. And so when I initially heard this, I thought, okay, what are you even saying right now? So I just so happen to know somebody who works for the Attorney General's office, and I reached out to that person and I said, what is going on? Are you actually investigating? And this person responded and they said, I can't give you any more details other than what's already been said. But yes, I can confirm we are in fact investigating, and the confirmation is there. They are in fact investigating Lily Tino.
This is another really good thing, is that as soon as one person gets put in jail for this, or put on the sex offender list or something like that, that's going to stop everybody else from doing it. Because the reason why people act this way is because they get away with it. And so the moment that people don't get away with this, everybody's going to stop doing it.
There are two potential laws that Lily Tino has broken here.
Yeah.
The first is actually
Will
a
it
newer
stop
piece
them?
of
Yeah, it
legislation
will.
that expects people to use the bathroom that corresponds with their sex. The other, and this is the one that I imagine that they'd pursue if this actually ever goes to court, is a statute that prohibits unauthorized photography in settings where people expect a reasonable degree of privacy, such as restrooms. This is a felony and comes with up to 5 years in prison and or a $5,000 fine. And honestly, reading through this, it's quite clear about what's legal and what's not in bathrooms and locker rooms. Well, there won't be a lot of time to complain about being misgendered in prison.
I hope that they put this person in jail and then they put them on the sex offender list.
Tino, a male, went
totally
into a female bathroom, which is against the law, and then took pictures of women in the bathroom, which is also against the law. But the truly interesting thing is that since doing all of this and royally upsetting the internet, Tino has taken not an ounce, not a singular morsel of personal accountability. Tino is very committed to mocking this situation at every given opportunity. In one very sarcastic TikTok,
I can't wait to watch like these get played in court.
Mocks the situation while pretending to be a woman with her child, going into a bathroom where Tino is present.
I am suing Lily Tino for emotional distress. Last week, when I walked into the bathroom, there was Lily Tino taking pictures in the bathroom mirror. She took the picture of me and my kid, and I looked down at my kid, and my kid got turned into a corn dog.
In another video, Tino addresses various rumors and accusations and actually acknowledges a petition going around to remove the box-dyed menace from TikTok.
Those Disney bathroom selfies got y'all real upset, huh? Saying, oh, Lily, you can't take selfies in the bathroom. It's not appropriate. Well, let me remind you that literally every celebrity you've ever enjoyed on screen has at one point taken a bathroom selfie. For example...
And of course, our noodle-haired weirdo smugly claims that there are no lawsuits currently pending against the TikToker.
There's also talk of me getting sued for my bathroom pictures. As far as I know, I am not getting sued, and I didn't do anything wrong.
In a recent live stream, Tino argued that being on the receiving end of legal action would actually be a good thing because it would draw more attention to the trans community.
Truly, they wanted to say it was against the rules for you to take bathroom selfies. That will ultimately be a good thing. Not like that I'm happy to be in trouble that way, but this is what it is being an advocate. My goal in taking those pictures was to normalize trans women using the women's room.
And also, by the way, I don't want to normalize this. I don't think it should be normalized. And I think that most people agree with that.
Funnily enough, Tino's behavior and desire to point everything, good or bad, back to the trans community is why some trans creators have started calling the TikToker out, saying this is a person doing nothing good for fellow trans people. This is a person who has absolutely no regard for others. This is a person who has absolutely no interest in doing the right thing by women. And importantly, this is a person who is very, very entitled. And I mean, ultimately, Lily Tino Tino's behavior is going to continue like this unless people stop watching, stop donating and funding Tino, or Tino does something that actually legally crosses a bunch of lines. I am very interested that an investigation has apparently gotten underway. I don't obviously know what the net result of that will be. Florida has already demonstrated that it will enforce its laws on this specific issue, as other trans-identified males have been arrested and fined for going into women's bathrooms and facilities and whatnot.
I think that doing it at Disney World, especially a place where children are present, is a way higher degree of bad behavior. This is like doing it at a middle school.
I am very interested to see what happens in this particular situation, and honestly, this is going to sound kind of bad to some of you. I am very much looking forward to seeing some of the smugness sucked out of Lily Tino.
As much as I hate them, prison's too extreme for this. There needs to be a penalty, but no, let's not burden the system. The extreme nature of it is the reason why it should happen. There needs to be a deterrence for other people that are doing the same thing, for them to realize, wait a minute, if I do this, there's a chance that I could risk a huge amount of damage to my life. This is something that I would want my tax dollars to go towards.
What do you all think? Are you surprised that Lily Tino has ended up in this situation? Do you think that this investigation is going to go anywhere?
Whenever you have this bathroom issue, I think that people look at it from the wrong perspective. They look at it from the perspective of what makes a trans person comfortable, but you should be looking at it from the perspective of what makes a woman safe. And the reality is that having a male to female trans person go into a women's restroom does make women feel unsafe. I can't speak for all women, but I think that there's a large percentage of them that do feel this way. I think that there's a lot of social pressure to say that you don't feel this way right now. And so the amount of them that report being uncomfortable is probably lower than the actual amount of people that genuinely feel this way. But I think that as more of these cases come out, and as, talking about this and being outspoken about it and direct about it, I think this shifts the window of the acceptable things to say more. And I hope that more people will be willing to come out and express the way that they actually feel without being afraid of being bullied. What if she looks like a normal woman? I wouldn't want someone who looks like a normal woman in a male bathroom. You are making a subjective judgment. There are some people that think that one trans person looks like a woman, and some people that think that another trans person doesn't. The same trans person doesn't. It's very simple. Use the bathroom for your biological sex. Period. That's it. No fine print, no exceptions. Actually, there are some exceptions. Like, for example, if you're a dad and you've got to take your daughter into the men's bathroom in order to maybe change her diaper or something like that, and it's your daughter's 4 years old, I think obviously that's acceptable. But in a general sense, absolutely not. You should visit Disney with your dad when he moves. If he read that, I don't think he'd want to leave the hospital. My dad hates Disney. He thinks Disney is cringe as fuck. He says Looney Tunes was always better, and I totally agree with him. There were a couple of Disney movies I watched growing up. Of course, I think everybody did. But, in a general sense, bro, I was not about that shit at all. I think if you endanger trans women by putting them in the men's bathroom, how are they ever going to feel safe in men's bathrooms? They need to be protected just like biological women. Yeah, but that also, their safety isn't really as important as, the safety of, a young girl. It's just a priority list. I understand that, and that sucks, and it's too bad, but we just simply can't, sometimes you have to make priorities, and you have to make decisions where one side wins and the other side loses, and that's it. And the inability to make those decisions allows the greater evil to prevail most of the time. At so many gas stations, I've seen women go to men's bathrooms because there's no waiting lines or separate stalls, so it's okay-ish. Well, I mean, the fact is that there's a double standard. And the double standard does exist for men versus women. And the reason why is because men are stronger and bigger than women. So men pose a unique threat to women that women don't pose to men. That's the reason why. It's because of biology. And so a woman going in a man's bathroom is less threatening because women are less threatening than men.